Top tennis stars including Roger Federer, Novak Djokovic, Pete Sampras, Maria Sharapova and Serena Williams have lined up for the International Premier Tennis League. The league gets underway soon after the Champions Tennis League concludes in India. Apart from top Indian stars, international players like Martina Hingis, Jelena Jankovic, Pat Cash, Juan Carlos Ferrero and Marcos Baghdatis were seen in action. Times now caught up with the tennis legends on the sidelines of the Champions Tennis League.
The inaugural Champions Tennis League finally culminates in the grand finale between the Pune Marathas and the Delhi Dreams in the national capital. And to talk more about that and generally how it's been in the first edition, we have with us stars from both the teams as well as Vijay Amritraj, the brains behind the league. So Vijay, first question to you. Thanks very much for joining us, all of you. Inaugural edition, it's probably had its hiccups, you know, a withdrawal or two and a couple of question marks over attendance. But how would you see the league overall?
Yeah, I mean, we faced a lot of challenges, obviously, but the most important thing is that we've had world-class players come to India. That's the first thing. I think we were able to get a wonderful pool of talented players come to India, both from the legend standpoint, from the main ranking standpoint for men and women, which has been terrific. For Indians to play alongside them was wonderful, and then encourage the young juniors to be on the team. And the players have been tremendous with the juniors, and I think for me, that was a huge success.
And was that really the sort of, you know, the reason behind thinking of this league, this mixing of international stars and Indian players?
Yes, I think that was one of the key elements of the league, and that was to be able to have cities across India see international stars live in front of them, and at the same time be able to help juniors for the next generation, for the next decade or two. Those are the two most important things, and get a chance to see our Indian players alongside these great stars.
Yes, and we'll talk to them in a minute about how that's been. But Pat Cash, I have to start with you because you've been quoted as saying that we must lose the first match in order to win the entire tie.
We've had a lot of fun in our matches. Luckily, thanks to Marcos Baghdatis here, who's been incredible at the end.
Yes.
I've lost all my matches, and he's won all his. So the formula has been working very well. It's easy for me to lose than it is to win. But I think that's what we've found is that you know, I'm joking, but I'm also serious because we've had such a great fun amongst the team. Great time with the Indian, well, obviously the fans, but the Indian players and the juniors. And I think the juniors are learning a lot, and certainly to be alongside players like this, it's you know, it's a thrill for me to be so close, watching these guys hit the ball. And the competition is not, you know, somebody said it was exhibition. It's more than exhibition.
It's been quite intense.
Because it has been intense because you're playing for a team. And that's, I think that's been the big difference. And
well, you talk about your thrill, I must tell you, you know, I'm sure that hundreds of Indian tennis fans have been thrilled to see you. You've got to know how popular you are over here because, you know, you're the original poster boy with the long hair and the earring before Andre Agassi came along. So you've got a huge number of fans here. But taking off from what you said, and how's the league been overall for you? What's the experience been like? Because it is something new.
Yeah, same as at past, I think it's been very intense all the time because since the first day here, our owner is putting us, you know, to win all the time. So we are having great ties since the beginning. We won two, and you know, I think we played very well at the beginning. Then we lost one, but you know, the last one I think we play also at very good levels. Okay,
well, Sanjeev Kasal, the owner of the Delhi team, co-owner, I must get a word in from you. How it's been to be part of something like this? Because of course it's been, you know, it's been formatted in a new kind of way. We'll have to see in the years to come if there is going to be space for it always on the ATP and WTA calendars. How's it been, and what brought you into this?
The love of the game. First and foremost, I love the game. I've been playing it for forever, and the fact that Vijay was spearheading the league, that was a driving force for me. I've grown up, well, he's not that much older than me, just a few years, but the years that I was playing tennis as a student in college, Vijay was the star, and the fact that he brought this league in, that was certainly, like I said, a motivating factor. So I think when you have somebody at the helm like that, you have a lot of credibility, and when you start with that, you get inspired.
Is that how you see it, Marcos? How's it been playing for you? And also tell us, when you got that call about the league in the first place, what made you decide that, yes, I'm going to play in this?
Yeah, you know, I didn't have a great year personally, a lot of injuries. So when they first called me to come to play here in India, I was thrilled, because for me it's extra matches, more matches to prepare the next year. So that was the reason, the main reason I said yes, and I came here. But I also came here before. I know how people are so nice, and the hospitality, how the people give you hospitality here, and it's been an amazing week. I mean, I have a great team with me. I can say I came for matches, but also for a bit of rest. It was the most stressful holiday I ever had in my life. But it's
sorry about that. That's my fault.
But it's been so much fun. I really enjoyed it so much. The hospitality has been great. Everywhere we go, the people are so nice to us, and I had an amazing team, amazing captain here. We had so much fun, and I look forward to coming in the future here again.
And how's it been playing with Saket, for example? You know, because one of the agendas of this league, as Vijay told us, is to get that mix of international stars and upcoming Indian stars.
I mean, I'm surprised with the level they play, the Indian players. Yeah, I mean, you have 4 players in the qualies of the Australian Open. I think that's very good. And Saket is playing amazing. I think he can be a top 20 player in doubles for sure. He can play very good singles, and I think it's just a matter of getting this level, playing more matches at this level, and having you know, more experience. And I think the tennis is there. It's just the mental part, and then the confidence and the matches to get on his feet to get to that level.
So, you know, what's stopping them? Vijay, will come to you also on that, but let's ask you first. You've played with Sanam in this league. Yes. Now, guys like Sanam and Saket, they've been sort of on this threshold. You know, we all know how good they are. What is it going to take for them to break into the top 100?
I mean, I think maybe he needs to travel a little bit more to Europe to play those tournaments that we have over there, and I think we have a lot of tournaments that can help them to grow a little bit, and to see the level we have over there also. And I think is one of the important things he has to do if he wants to improve a little bit. So I will give him the chance also to practice a little bit in the academy and that I have in Spain, and play a little bit more maybe in Spain or Europe, and we'll see if I help him a little bit.
Yeah, you should do that. You should call him to one of your academies.
Yes.
Yeah, so we'll hold you to that. Vijay, in terms of exposure and just getting these boys to play with international stars, that's something that's always been the agenda of the tournaments we've had here in the years past as well. Unfortunately, though, other than the Chennai Open, nothing's really lasted. Is that because of a lack of crowd interest? Because we've also had some issues initially with the Champions Tennis League where, there were question marks over attendance in the stadiums.
No, I think, first of all, it's very difficult to get on the ATP calendar or the WTA calendar. The calendar is very tight, it's very full, players are very busy, and they are traveling for 11 months in the year. So it's a pretty full calendar. Trying to get on the tour is very difficult for a tournament. Okay. The Chennai Open remains to be the only one that we have. So I think, how does the rest of the country, such a large country like us, get to see these kinds of players come to India, both men and women? And the best way to do it was in this format, number one. Number two is, this is a great opportunity, like as Marcus was saying, for a guy like Saket and Sanam to play with these players in doubles. You learn so much by being around them all the time. And then the juniors, hitting with the Venus Williams or Martina Hingis or Radwanska, I mean, this is a dream. This is an opportunity that is so difficult to find anywhere. Absolutely. And so I think all of these things would inspire these youngsters to do it. All the parents are related. The kids are related, and they're sitting on the bench alongside a Pat Cash and all of them. And to be able to have that kind of inspiration at a young age, which we never had the opportunity of having. So we were trying to kind of tick all the boxes, so to speak, to bring tennis to all parts of the country, but at the same time focus on the fact that the next generation of players truly need to be inspired.
So, after all these years of a virtual drought of top-class international level tennis other than the Chennai Open, now what we have this season is the Champions Tennis League and, of course, Mahesh Bhupathi's IPTL as well. The comparisons are going to be inevitable, Vijay. How would you like a tennis fan to differentiate between the two?
Well, first of all, it's very simple. One is Asia-centric,
yes,
one is India.
But aside from the venue.
One is India-centric. I think we are completely focused on these three issues. One is the fact that rest of the country gets to see international players, world-class players playing in India live. in different cities across India. We've got 6 cities this time. Hopefully in the years to come we might be able to expand, depending on the calendar. The second thing is that we have our Davis Cup players playing alongside a Marcos or a Juan or a Kevin Anderson and so on, which is extremely unusual to see anywhere in international tennis. And thirdly, and most important of all, we're able to encourage a young boy and a young girl to be inspired to play the game full time and understand the fact that you can in fact have a dream to become like these guys. And I think those are the 3 points that we were trying to hit. I think Mahesh is very clear in doing Asian tennis and bringing tennis across Asia, 3 cities in Asia and of course Delhi. So I think that has its own viewpoint as far as how exactly that will succeed.
And you don't think the two will take away from each other?
Absolutely not, because we're very clear in what we're doing, and I completely appreciate what he's doing, and I think it'll be terrific for Asian tennis, no question about it.
Yeah, no, we're thrilled.
And,
you know, the more the merrier, so it's going to be great to have.
And like anything else,
both.
it's reigning leagues in India now.
Absolutely.
You know, 30, 40 years ago when I was playing on the international circuit, to think that so many athletes in so many sports can be well paid and done well professionally in sport, for me, I'm loving it that I'm seeing it in my lifetime.
Absolutely. Pat Cash, we've seen, of course, some sort of this league format in certain tournaments in the United States, for example. But in this part of the world, we're seeing this for the first time in tennis. What did you think when you first heard of this premise of starting a league-based tennis championship?
Well, of course, I've well aware of the cricket.
Yes,
of course,
which is why I asked you, because you know, the IPL is virtually, I think, 50% Australians.
Yes, well, Australians are the best cricketers in the world.
Well, that's debatable.
Yes, but
yeah,
but obviously the cricket league. But the format is something that, well, Vijay, you played back in the 70s, and it's continued through.
Yes.
Billie Jean King's ideas are very similar. Vijay's changed a little bit, and it's very exciting. I think what Billie Jean King, her idea was to bring teams. Tennis is a very individual sport. You know, the players are here. They're going out to try and make their own way, really with themselves, perhaps with a coach. If they're lucky, they're wealthy enough, they have a coach and a trainer or whatever to travel with them. But it's a very individual sport. We only play really for our nation once a year, perhaps. Maybe if we're lucky, maybe if we're really lucky, twice or 3 times a year. And we're all passionate with it, and so to get the teams together, you can see the fun and the camaraderie there, and that's worked very well in this format, better than I expected this week, way better. And I've never actually played a full team tennis. Vijay can probably explain more about that. But in America, I've done little formats, and all the time you get this fun, this rivalry. It's friendly rivalry with the opponents, because we all see each other the rest of the year.
Sanjeev, along with the positives, there can be negatives. Now, I am going to bring up the comparison with the IPL because it's very current and it's something everyone talks
about. The IPTL,
No, I'm talking about the IPL now because, the cricket league. Simply because that is the league format in sport that we've seen in India now for several years running. But with its highs have come its lows. And do you think as a team owner, the kind of dangers that the IPL has been susceptible to, do you feel there is any scope for that in tennis?
Okay, define dangers, I mean elaborate.
Well, I'm obviously talking about everything that's in the headlines right now. There are issues over match fixing, there are issues over spot fixing, there's issues over illegal betting, which of course in India is not allowed. And all of this has come about in the league format of the game, not as much when you're playing international cricket. So I'm just asking simply because of that parallel of a league format, being a completely different sort of game.
Tina, I think quite frankly, the possibility of something being fixed in a sport like tennis is a lot more difficult than let's say, cricket.
But it's not without precedent. I mean, there have been,
Yes,
few and far between, I would agree completely.
Look, I mean, like, I don't know, who said this, one of the great players, I don't know, Pat might remember, recently one of the great players said, look, I like to see what drugs does to a tennis player if he can handle 4-5 or 5-6 down, 30-40 second serve. I mean, where does that come in, really? How does substance abuse help a tennis player? I'm sure
I understand
people are into that.
It's not a malaise in tennis. I understand what you're saying completely, but so you feel that
I think tennis is a very clean sport, by and large. I mean, from what I know of tennis, Tina, I think tennis is very clean, You can't run a parallel with the IPL on this. I'm sorry.
No, that's good to hear, but I had to put the question to you. You know, you're a team owner. Marcos, one of the things that came up here is this talk of Davis Cup, playing for the country. That's, you know, the occasional time you guys get to play as a team. Something that's been a controversy here in India has been this question over playing ATP or WTA over playing for the country, whether it's Davis Cup, whether it's the Asian Games. Unfortunately, I have to say, our players are really put in a spot and questioned over this. How is it internationally? How does it work? Because we do understand that players have to give importance to their rankings and their points.
Yeah, you've seen a lot of, like Roger Federer. He didn't play, for example, so many Davis Cup matches until recently.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he didn't play the last few years. So it depends. I think it's an individual issue. I think it's it depends on your feelings. If you want to play for your country, how passionate you are for your country, how patriot you are. Individually, I love playing for my country. I've played throughout since I was 14 years old. I played for my country. It's an honor to play. I think it's an honor to play for your country. But you know, as tennis players, we're playing every week. We're away from home every week, and sometimes it's tough to, when you know you can have a week off and rest or practice, it's tough to have another tournament and go play Davis Cup. But you know, it's an individual feeling, it's an individual decision, and I think anybody can do whatever he feels like.
Okay, and either way it should be okay. It's a personal choice.
Yeah, I think it's a personal choice. I think we have to accept everybody's choice. We have to respect everybody's choice. Everybody's different, and I think, yeah, it's an individual choice.
Okay, well said. Now, just to sum it up, I'm going to ask you guys what is the best thing about being in India and playing. So, Juan Carlos, we'll start with you.
It's been very fantastic 2 weeks for me. It's the first time for me.
What's the best thing? Just tell us what's the best thing about being in
Spicy
India.
food. I think I never tried that much before, so now I'm very used to eat that spicy food. So you know, I can eat more food now.
Okay, Pat Cash, what about you?
I think the worst thing is the spicy food.
Oh, okay, so you're going the other extreme.
I've had too much. I love my Indian food, but I can handle 1 week non-stop. I think the hospitality. And the camaraderie with the team, the friendships that I've developed through the people I haven't met, the Indian kids and Saket and Marcus I've known a little bit, but yeah, I think the friendships for sure.
Okay, and Marcus?
Same thing, people. I think they've been amazing, and I'm a people's person, so I like to communicate with people.
That's always been evident, even when you're on court.
So yeah, people. I think you're such a nice country, such a nice people. So it's been fun.
Okay, great. That's great to know that. And Vijay, just to sum it up, some of the challenges you're looking ahead in the years to come, you know, things like when a big name withdraws, what are you planning to do about just looking at some of these challenges?
Well, I think we need to have reserves in India for the duration of this time. Hopefully we'll get 2 or 4 players to come and sit on the beach in Goa and wait to see,
Right.
God forbid, if there's an injury.
He's putting his hand up already.
Exactly. But I think we've hit a turning point in Indian tennis history with the success of Champions Tennis League. I think we have literally proven beyond doubt that with the coming of legends like Juan Carlps and Pat and so many others, and current players like Marcos and the girls who come here with Martina and Venus and Radwanska and Elena and all of them, it's just proven beyond reasonable doubt that India would like to have more of this.
Yes, we would.
Most important of all, that the eyes and the look that I've seen on the face of the juniors, that's to me, made me feel that, you know what, I think we've done the right thing. People come out and watch, it'll be wonderful. We want more people to come out and enjoy it. We want to be able to go to more cities if we can.
Okay,
but
so that's part of the plan?
Certainly, but
okay.
we'll be challenged by the calendar and see how many days we can get and the availability of the players. Obviously, they make the league more than anything else. For us, I want owners to be tremendously happy about this and stay emotionally invested in the league, not just financially as we all are,
yes.
but emotionally invested in the league, because this is a passion sport as well. And I think, as Sanjeev rightly pointed out, it is very pure. It is a pure sport, and I think the owners that we have today are passionately involved and emotionally involved. So I think all of these things we've done well, Certainly we have hiccups and challenges and speed bumps and all of that.
Of course.
And I think we'll overcome all of it together.
Well, let's hope so. All the very best to you and best of luck.
Thank you,
Thanks
Tina.
very much for talking to Times Now.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tina.